Imagine this. A calm morning over the Persian Gulf, the sun just beginning to break through the hazy sky, waves glinting under its first light. Everything seems ordinary, too ordinary. And then it happens. A voice crackles over the radio, urgent, clipped. American warship. This is the Iranian Navy. You are approaching Iranian territorial waters. Change your course immediately. This is your final warning. Now, if you were standing on the deck of the USS Fitzgerald, one of the most advanced destroyers in the U.S. Navy, your pulse would spike. But what really unfolded that morning wasn't just a tense confrontation, it was a window into modern military strategy, intelligence gathering, and psychological games that stretch far beyond the waves beneath your feet. Welcome to Rivo TV, where we dive deep into the world's most fascinating military mysteries, uncovering the stories behind the headlines, and revealing the truth that history sometimes hides. The USS Fitzgerald, an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, bristling with radar arrays, missile launchers, and electronic warfare systems, was conducting a routine patrol. For the crew, it was just another Tuesday, routine watch shifts, scheduled course corrections, and the endless scanning of radar screens. Then a faint blip appeared. Small, slow, approaching. At first glance, it looked almost harmless. But its arrival marked the start of an intelligence bonanza the likes of which the Navy rarely experiences. The object was an old Iranian helicopter, a relic of the 1970s, purchased decades ago from the United States. Its worn rotors groaned, instruments flickered with warning lights, and every vibration reflected decades of hard service. Yet, in Tehran, this was supposed to be a show of force, a way to project strength, to prove that despite setbacks, Iran still controlled its waters. The irony? It was American technology being flown against Americans. The Fitzgerald's advanced radar systems instantly recognized the helicopter, cataloged its signature, and began capturing its every electronic emission. Frequencies, pulse rates, radar reflections, even the helicopter's navigation beacons were logged. Every piece of data became a blueprint for defeating this type of aircraft in any future encounter. Meanwhile, the Iranian pilot struggled. Fuel was running low, controls were unpredictable, and the mission demanded he appear aggressive while staying airborne in a machine far past its prime. In Tehran, state media had already begun scripting the story, a triumph over a billion-dollar American destroyer, a show of Iranian dominance in the Gulf. But on the Fitzgerald, the crew saw something entirely different. They watched the helicopter's approach with calm amusement. The ship's weapons never powered up, why waste expensive missiles on a relic barely capable of flight? Even the communications team, aware the Iranians were broadcasting on open, unencrypted channels, could hear casual complaints from the pilot about his own equipment and personal life. In one cheeky move, a female sailor keyed the mic to respond playfully, further undermining the Iranian perception of control. As the helicopter closed in, the Fitzgerald continued on its pre-planned route. Its Aegis combat system tracked the aircraft flawlessly, calculating dozens of engagement solutions in seconds. In reality, if a war had broken out, the helicopter would have been destroyed long before it could have posed any threat. Yet, to the Iranian pilot, every maneuver of the destroyer was interpreted as a concession, a forced retreat. This moment, brief and largely symbolic, would become a propaganda victory. But the real victory, unseen by most, was the intelligence collected. Every emission, every radar pulse, every frequency broadcasted by the helicopter was stored, analyzed, and integrated into threat libraries for the U.S. Navy. Next time a similar encounter occurs, American forces would have the upper hand from the first millisecond. To understand why this small skirmish mattered, we need to explore the broader context of naval strategy. The Persian Gulf has always been a pressure cooker, a narrow waterway with vital shipping lanes, massive oil reserves, and constant military patrols. Every ship, every radar signal, every maneuver contributes to a high-stakes conversation between nations. Even the smallest blip on a screen can carry enormous strategic weight. Historically, incidents like this echo the tanker wars of the 1980s, when small, expendable forces were used to provoke larger adversaries. The tactics may be decades old, but the principles remain the same: gather intelligence, provoke a response, and manipulate perception. Iran's use of an antiquated helicopter is a textbook example. It wasn't about defeating the Fitzgerald, it was about creating the illusion of control. On the Fitzgerald, this moment was an education. Sailors observed, technicians logged, analysts catalogued, and the ship moved through the Gulf, calm and unthreatened. Every action, every emission, became part of a library that would serve U.S. forces for years to come. Even small details mattered. The helicopter's engine performance, fuel consumption, radar emissions, and radio behavior, all recorded. These might seem minor, but in modern warfare, information is as lethal as any missile. The psychological side of these encounters is equally critical. By broadcasting grainy footage of an approaching warship, Iran hoped to create fear, tension, and the perception of vulnerability. Yet, the Fitzgerald demonstrated restraint, composure, and superior awareness. The encounter also highlights a broader truth about modern military engagement: wars aren't just fought with bombs and bullets. They're fought with information, perception, and the careful management of appearances. A single morning in the Persian Gulf can reveal more about the balance of power than years of traditional exercises. For the next 40 minutes, consider the layers beneath this encounter. The ancient helicopter becomes more than a machine, it's a symbol of desperation, propaganda, and misjudged confidence. The Fitzgerald is more than a ship, it's a floating command center, a hub of intelligence, and a reminder of technological and tactical superiority. This story, while seemingly about a helicopter buzzing a destroyer, is actually about strategy, history, psychology, and the quiet wars fought in shadows. It's about who holds power, who understands the battlefield, and who manipulates perception. And it's a story that continues, quietly, in oceans across the globe, far from the public eye. As the helicopter finally turns back, low on fuel, the Iranian crew believes they have accomplished their mission. In reality, they've handed the U.S. Navy one of its most valuable intelligence opportunities in years. Grainy footage will be shown on state television, stories will be told of an American retreat, but the truth lies in the silent data captured by sensors, logged by analysts, and stored for future operations. And that, in the end, is the story of modern naval warfare, a delicate dance between perception and reality, technology and psychology, power and intelligence. One small encounter, one morning in the Persian Gulf, and the lessons echo across the oceans, shaping strategy for years to come. If you want to explore more stories like this, uncover mysteries hidden in plain sight, and understand the real stories behind the headlines, you're in the right place. This is Rivo TV, where we reveal the world's hidden truths, one mystery at a time.